We are back today on Football Manager 26 to take over as Chelsea manager, who after their dominating display in the Club World Cup were hotly tipped to be Premier League champions. And there's no surprise to that as well, because their squad on FM26 is littered with incredible talent, but of course, Wonderkids. And that is all we are allowed to sign in this video as we look to find some of the best hidden and the best standout Wonderkids. And to complete this video, well, I've got a challenge. If we don't complete these 3 challenges, I'm going to give away a copy of FM26. Number 1 is simply to create a realistic Enzo Maresca Chelsea tactic. Number 2 is to win the Premier League. And number 3 is to lift the Champions League. And we have only got 3 seasons to complete that in. So without further ado, let's get into the Chelsea rebuild. And to kick this off, we are not going to be doing any transfers. We are leaving that all to end of season number 1, as this team already, well, it's absolutely fantastic. As mentioned in the intro, there is a bunch of superstar Wonderkids, some that are out on loan. And number 1 is Giovanni Quenda, who I cannot wait to use next season as he looks absolutely outrageous. But there is also some insane talent. And in my opinion, possibly the best player on FM26 that I've seen based on attributes, and that is Cole Palmer. He looks absolutely outrageous. I mean, these stats are insane. 18 finishing, 19 composure on your central attacking midfielder with 19 first touch, 18 technique, and 18 decision making. Yeah, Cole Palmer is going to be an absolute issue on FM26, but it doesn't stop there. Their midfield duo of Enzo Fernandez and Moise Caicedo are incredible. Wesley Fofana looks unreal in FM26, and captain Reece James up through the Cobham Academy looks absolutely brilliant. And if we can keep him fit, we'll have a good chance of completing all 3 challenges. And we might as well kick that off with starting challenge number 1, which will progress over the course of this video, and that is creating a realistic Enzo Maresca tactic. Now I'm going to get straight into doing that right now, start with my foundation, and bringing you guys back when it's all made. And here it is. And yes, it looks a little bit crazy, but that's because we are using 2 formations, 1 in position, 1 out of possession. In possession, we are setting up in a 3-4-2-1, and out of possession, a 4-3-3 / 4-2-3-1, because the pressing central midfielder is going to sit very high and very aggressive, and I absolutely love this position so far on FM26. In the build-up phase, this is how we look through each different phase, and in my opinion, this looks pretty damn good to how Chelsea play in real life. And out of possession in this 4-2-3-1, again, I think it's really good to how they actually look and how they actually press and play, and the team we've got shows exactly that as well. I mean, in the combined team, we'll use this, even though it looks a little bit crazy. We've got Robert Sanchez in goal, but this could quite easily be Philip Jorgensen as well. And I would place my money on it being Philip Jorgensen, because this guy looks fantastic this year. Great area reach, great jumping reach, and his reflexes at 17 make him one of the best goalkeepers on the game. The back 3, we of course have got Levi Colville, who again looks fantastic. Really good stats on him. Mentally so much better than he was on FM24. And the right-hand centre-back, I'm starting off with Josh Ashenpong, because I want to see if we can develop this guy. He's been brilliant in real life in the last few months, and hopefully we can make him brilliant here. And in the centre, well, it is Wesley Fofana. We touched him earlier on, and he looks absolutely outrageous. Our right wing back is going to be Reece James, as we said, if he can stay fit. He's going to be instrumental to this system, because part of it is the fact that out of possession, he moves into the defensive midfield role next to Caicedo, which of course allows the tactic to work. On the left-hand side, we are using Cucurella, who looks absolutely brilliant once again. His mental stats are outrageous. And that's something I seem to say a lot about this Chelsea side, because once again with Caicedo, he looks brilliant. And Enzo Fernandez, who steps up into that cam role, also looks brilliant. And he suits this attacking midfielder role brilliantly. In the 3-2-4-1, he's going to absolutely excel there. Left wing, we have currently got Alejandro Garnacho. I put him there for the sole reason, I'm telling you guys, I'm not playing him. I never want to see him. Yes, I'm a Manchester United fan. No, I don't care. That is potentially unrealistic. We do not like Alejandro Garnacho around here. And on the right-hand side, we have got Cole Palmer. Now, the Palmer position is very, very interesting, because we have got him playing as a playmaking winger on the right-hand side, which seems like an incredible position for Palmer. It will act as the team's primary source of creativity, starting from a wide position during the team's build-up phase, for later drifting inside to create and find chances for others. And when you see the sort of heat map graph we can see here on the right-hand side, it looks pretty much like how Palmer plays, and it's very exciting to see this in FM from the base. In terms of our possession, he is sticking out on the right-hand side, but it was quite difficult to get him anywhere else other than there, to be honest. And I'm very excited to see what he can do. On the left wing, we are potentially going to play Gittins or Pedro Neto. I'm not too sure who is going to be the starter out there just yet. And up front, of course, has to be Joao Pedro, who looked like a reincarnation of R9 during the Club World Cup. So I'm excited to see if I can make him that here on FM26, because I'll be real, his stats don't excite me that much. He looks very well rounded, but nothing's jumping out to me. There is a real lack of bright green attributes there and a lot of yellow. So hopefully we can get something to make Joao Pedro progress into an absolute superstar. But again, this isn't even where this team finishes, because it's actually the whole first team, which is just littered with such high potential. Obviously, Jamie Bino Gittins, Jarell Harto, we haven't touched on just yet, a brand new signing. Giovanni Quenda out on loan next season is going to be outrageous, hopefully. And Esteval as well. We've not even touched on Esteval, who on FM26 looks like one of the best Wonderkids, apart from the fact that in this particular save, he has 2 determination. Hopefully, we can get that to grow a little bit and get Esteval to reach his high potential. But for now, I mean, he already looks absolutely brilliant and will at least be a rotational winger for us. Andre Santos in midfield has great potential, as does Mike Penders out on loan. The 19-year-old goalkeeper could come in and be a starter at some point in this video. And then it's also worth mentioning a few players up for the academy as well, like Ryan Mavuma McQueen. We've of course got Marc Gui as well, signing from Barcelona. Shamira Mweka, obviously very young at 17 years of age, but could become someone in this rebuild that gets some game time. Of course, Josh Ashenpong. Reggie Walsh has full-star potential as a 16-year-old midfielder, which is great to see him in the first team. Rich Delise in here as well, and of course a whole bunch of others in the under-21s and under-18s. But I want to get going in this save because I'm excited to see if we can develop this tactic and build Chelsea into Premier League winners. We've only got 3 seasons to do that, and I also have to win the Champions League, remember, as well. And if not, like I said, there will be a copy of FM26 gifted to one of you guys in the comments down below. And I want to know what saves you are currently doing on FM26. Now, in terms of the Premier League, we are predicted to finish in 5th place, which really surprises me. Newcastle in 4th, Arsenal in 3rd, City in 2nd, Liverpool in 1st. I thought we'd be closer to Liverpool than double their odds of winning this title. So we are the underdogs, and I don't mind that at all. So let's get into things and hopefully see this Chelsea side dominate. Now, as mentioned, one of the best positions in this whole tactic is the Cole Palmer playmaking winger on the right-hand side position. And in this game against Fulham, he was simply incredible. For a West London derby, he absolutely dominated, cutting in from that right-hand side, grabbing 2 goals in just 40 minutes. And I've got to say, the game looks absolutely stunning. And in the third as well, running in from that right-hand side as Pedro Neto swings the ball in and he gets to the front post and makes it 3-0 in a dominating performance where we're just showing how good that playmaking winger is. And of course, we were also in the Champions League this year as well, and we had a chance to tick off one of our challenges straight away. And we were in the quarterfinals in this game against Barcelona, where De Sarsi got us off to a great start before Jamie Bino Gittins' tricky little behaviour got him in off the left-hand side, and it was poked home by Cole Palmer. Now, given the fact this is away from home, to go 3-0 up is pretty outrageous. Badiashile and Caicedo linking up before he puts a bullet into the top corner. But then we kind of crumbled, which was a bit of a shame, to be honest, because you go 3 up at the new camp, just shut up shop and don't concede. And Lewandowski scored in the 52nd minute, and in the 94th, just as the final whistle was about to go, Christensen fired home to give them a chance in the second leg. And once you give Barcelona a chance, well, it's normally very difficult to stop them. And Marcus Rashford, well, he made us pay. In the 17th minute, he got Barca back on level terms in the tie. And it took all the way to the 105th minute before Barcelona's former Youth Academy star, Marc Gui, scored. And we managed to beat Barca in the quarters, which sent us to the semi-finals in just season number 1. But sadly, we were drawn up against Liverpool, and if you haven't played them on FM26, they are an absolute joke. I mean, they are simply almost impossible to beat. And in this first leg, they just completely put us to the sword and put the tie out of doubt straight away. It was half an hour in, they were tuning up, and they grabbed a third and final goal for this game in the 72nd. We managed to draw 1-1 at Stamford Bridge, but we do crash out of the Champions League in the semi-final, which is very sad, but it means we've still got that challenge to try and complete later on in today's video. Now, in the Premier League, where we really excelled was in terms of our clean sheets. We had 17 this season in 38 games and were second place in goals conceded, only to Manchester City with 39, which in my opinion is absolutely brilliant. Where we did slightly struggle was goal scoring. We finished down in 6th place, joint with Arsenal on 66, while Liverpool ran away with it on 88. And when you put that all into perspective and you check out the Premier League table, it's not too bad. We finished down in 4th place, which is a pretty decent season. Bournemouth, an outrageous season, getting Champions League football next season in 5th. But we were in 4th behind Liverpool, and then Spurs challenging City for the title on 83 points. Spurs, managed by Thomas Frank, look to be an unbelievable team on FM26. Another team which I have really struggled against in my Manchester United save, which if you haven't seen that, is probably a 6 or 7 part series by the time we finish it, like a Let's Play vibe for the beta. And they are unbelievable in that as well. And they were good in my Nottingham Forest rebuild also. And they seem to be very, very difficult to beat here. Arsenal with an awful season, down in 8th place, managed to sack Mikel Arteta finally. So we'll probably see them win a league next season because they haven't got the bottle job in charge. And in terms of Manchester United, well, I'll shut up because we finished down in 13th place. In terms of some of our star players this season, João Pedro actually really impressed me, grabbing 16 goals in just 22 Premier League starts and 7 goals in 13 Champions League games. We're not seeing too many stat increases from him now at 24 years of age, but we have seen his Brazilian debut and certainly an increase in his ability. And our highest average rating player and top goal scorer, of course, was that man Cole Palmer, with 30 goal contributions this season in 41 games, just showing how outrageous he is. And a reminder, he's playing in quite a weird position as the playmaking winger. Previously on FM24, FM23, that sort of position, the wide playmaker, I think it was called, was absolutely useless. So it's awesome to see here on FM26 being able to use different roles. It's been really enjoyable and really challenging as well. I think that's part of the enjoyment I'm getting out of FM26 at the moment, is really pushing the tactical side of the game, and using someone like Cole Palmer in that weird and wacky position has been really fun. I am also going to mention Esteval as well, because he did play some games out on that left-hand side, 16 starts, sadly just 1 goal and 5 assists. So while we have managed to boost determination from 2 to 3, this guy's nowhere near as good enough on FM26 as he is in real life. And I hope you get like a bit of a... I don't think you will get a boost post-beta, because I don't think they can do that. But, I mean, the January update that they do in, like, February or March, this guy's going to be outrageous, and we'll definitely have to revisit him if we can't get him to be a superstar in today's video, in another video down the line. And then the final guy that I am ridiculously excited for is Giovanni Quenda. I mean, last year for Sporting, grabbing 11 goals and 14 assists in the league and 19 assists overall with 13 goals, outperforming Cole Palmer effectively. And we can see his position is right wing, and that is where Cole Palmer is playing. So I'm going to have to get a little bit interesting with this system. I am going to change it ever so slightly to make Giovanni Quenda our attacking right wing back, which obviously poses some issues because at the moment that certainly is Reece James's position as he cuts inside to become a defensive midfielder. I'm going to have to do a little bit of tactic tweaking, which is why I haven't gone through it just yet. But I do believe after this, we will have our set Maresca tactic, completing challenge 1 of the video. I also didn't mention the Carabao Cup or FA Cup in that segment, as we won neither and were rubbish in both. So welcome to the new era Chelsea tactic, which I think looks absolutely brilliant, and we will get on to every single individual instruction and role in just a minute's time. If you do want an easy download, this save file and the tactic are available on Patreon for £5 a month. You get access to every single tactic and every single rebuild file we make here on the channel, and obviously help support me massively in my dream into one day becoming a full-time content creator. So if you want to help support there, the Patreon is linked down below, and you get a direct download for this insane Chelsea tactic. But let's get into what this tactic actually does then, and we're going to start off with our build-up and how things look when we are in possession on the ball. And first of all, you can see a very attacking and a high right wing back in Quenda compared to what we used to have with Reece James. As we sit further forward, still keeping that really base back three, the 2 attacking midfielders and the wide wing backs. And then as we come on further up, it is the exact same. We keep it nice and wide with the wing backs and very, very aggressive. Out of possession, we are still sticking to the 4-2-3-1. We have just had to move a few players about a little bit, and again you can see when we are out of possession we almost defended a 4-2-4 block with incredibly aggressive cams and strikers, you know, sort of pressing, and in like a 4-4-2 system on the block, which is amazing because again that's what a lot of people are using in real life, and it's really seeming to work as we drop deeper and our defensive contributions are going to get even better next season. Our actual team shape, then we'll go through both of them. Obviously you can see every single position instruction on this left hand side and on this right hand side. I'd recommend you pause the video to go through each individual one. In terms of player instructions, I don't believe there is any on anyone, so don't worry about that. In terms of team instructions, down the right hand side here you can see our overview for out of possession and for in possession. Once again you can see everything we have got going. And trust me, you guys want to try this tactic because it is brilliant. I also haven't changed it up here to attacking as of yet, but we are going to use it on attacking as well and be very aggressive and try and score lots of goals while being defensively sound. Now what it also does is it changes Reece James's position. Of course, he is now going to play in possession as one of the 3 centre-backs, which solves a big issue with our right-sided centre-back position that I wasn't that happy with last season. And out of possession, he then drops in to right-back as a pressing full-back, which is the same as Cucurella. So I think this tactic is outrageous, and let me know what you guys think of it and how you guys play with it if you download it on Patreon. Tell me how good it is, because I want to know if this tactic is actually a banger for everyone else too. Now, in terms of this season's transfers, we have set the squad up in my classic 1-11 system, so I can see exactly who I want to go and sign. I need to get a new right-sided centre-back. I also need to get a brand new midfielder and potentially a brand new striker as well. However, the interesting thing is Chelsea already have their striker lined up, as Emmanuel Omega from Strasbourg is already joining the club, which is brilliant. I mean, we've already got an absolute superstar coming in and I've not even had to do anything. And it's not just him, because there's also a young Brazilian left back called Denner who has joined the club, who again I had nothing to do with, but seems to be joining Chelsea in real life. Now, I did need a brand new rotational left back, so the guy I've gone and signed is 22-year-old Lucas Ulrich, who looks absolutely brilliant. And when I tell you we signed him for just £5.25 million, you'll be even more impressed because his stats are so good and he's so well-rounded. Now, his potential ability here in the current squad isn't outrageous, but as a backup left back to Cucurella, I think I've absolutely smashed it. And a reminder that every single signing we make in this video is going to be a Wonderkid. So next up, it is young Spanish right centre-back Javi Rodriguez, who could also go out into the right-back position and play as our pressing right-back in case Reece James get injured, which probably will happen at some point, let's be completely real. This guy came in from Celta Vigo, cost me £28 million after playing 33 games in the top flight of Spain last season. And again, he just looks absolutely brilliant. He's not got the greatest crossing, so he's not a real attacking right wing back, but his speed is good and his defensive stats are brilliant. And he also has fantastic mentals at just 23 years of age. And then finally, I had to break the bank to bring in a star goalkeeper. And that man, of course, is Bart Verbruggen, coming in from Brighton for 98 million. Yes, I've spent a lot of money. Is that unlike Chelsea in real life? No, it is something they would do, and it's something we have managed to do here. Last season at Brighton, 38 games played, 10 clean sheets, and a 6.9 on average rating, which is really good for a goalkeeper on FM. Again, has that fantastic jumping reach and aerial reach, but it is his actual goalkeeping stats and his ability to play out from the back which excite me the most. And the reason I had to bring him in is because Philip Jorgensen went to Newcastle for £40 million. Now, Jorgensen was pretty good last season, to be honest. Of course, most clean sheets in the league with 17, but based on when I was looking at his stats and comparing him to Verbruggen, who I knew is what I wanted, I was like, you know what? I'll take the 40 million, I'll invest it into Verbruggen, and I think we get a much better goalkeeper. And hopefully this season we see that. And this is your new look Chelsea team after the transfers we have done, which I fully believe has the ability to go on to potentially win a big competition this season. An FA Cup, a Premier League, or of course a Champions League. And if we manage to do that, it will be absolutely insane. The tactic looks a little bit weird. Fofana is too far on the right, in my opinion, for how things actually are set up, but you can see we're using the same 3-4-2-4-1 and the 4-2-3-1, which we just went through. And I'm expecting another fantastic season from João Pedro as well. Last year was really impressive. He massively outperformed what I thought he was going to do. I'd like to see the same this season. And if not, there is someone waiting in his wings, isn't there? We have got a superstar youngster on the bench in Emmanuel Omega, who last year on FM24 was one of the best young strikers to sign. He is like 6'5" with stupid pace, which on FM26 is as broken as it was previously, so I'm expecting this guy to be absolutely brilliant. And after last year of us finishing in 4th place, you'd think the Premier League would actually predict us to challenge for the title this year. Still down in 5th, a little bit closer to Newcastle, but mainly because their odds have gone higher. So we are still the 5th best team in the Premier League, which I don't believe. I believe we are set to challenge for the Premier League this season. So without further ado, let's get into it. Well, maybe the media were right, as we have come 4th once again, which is incredibly frustrating, especially because Spurs have gone and won the Premier League, which means this year was actually a semi-easy year to win the Prem, because if you push Spurs, they'll bottle it. It's what they do, but sadly, they've absolutely gone and won the Prem. Liverpool 2 points behind on 83, and City down in 3rd on 71, and us in 70. Newcastle, they need to stop being overhyped by the Prem, because they've come down in 7th place. And this season, relegated teams is Watford, Forest and Ipswich. Nice to see Miles making Watford a good side once again on FM. I've never seen that before. But in terms of our position, 4th place is okay. I'm not angry at 4th place in terms of how we actually performed as a team. Goal scoring wise, we were 63 goals, which is 3 worse off than last season. And defensively, well, Spurs were number 1 on 24. We did concede 1 less goal on 38, and then clean sheets wise we kept 15 rather than 17. So maybe Bart Verbruggen wasn't the right choice, which might have been the case, because Mike Penders was our starting Premier League goalkeeper. 34 appearances, 13 clean sheets. I mean, ignoring the fact we just spent £98 million, I love the fact that Mike Penders becomes a good goalkeeper, and he's actually become our number 1 completely legitimately, which I find absolutely hilarious, because we spent 100 million and Mike Penders played more than Bart Verbruggen. Now, Verbruggen was our Champions League goalkeeper, so I'm not sure if I made an error with registration rules or something, but it turns out he wasn't that good in that. He did get a 6.97 average rating, but Mike Penders was outstanding this season, as was João Pedro. Now, he only scored 13 goals in 30 games in the Premier League, but in all competitions, he grabbed 27 goals, and got 5 assists. Truly a goal-scoring striker. Cole Palmer managed to rack up another 28 goal contributions as well, while Giovanni Quenda, with his first season in Premier League football, managed to get 14 goal contributions. But it was Super Reece James in that right centre-back position who is our highest average rating. And I love to see that, because I can't see any sign of a long-term injury for Reece James, which means we've managed to keep him fit, which could also mean that FM is entirely unrealistic. But as things stand, Reece James, I mean, he's absolutely unbelievable. And if you are doing any kind of save and you can get this guy away from Chelsea, get him, because he is fantastic. And we've managed to get him back in the England fold as well, which is even better to see. And part of that will come down to just how good we were in the Champions League this season, as we are facing up against Manchester City, and we see another outrageous screamer from Moises Caicedo just 5 minutes into this game, which actually, after a 2-1 loss at the Etihad to kick things off, is very refreshing to see. And then a lovely effort on the left foot from Quenda, eventually poked home from João Pedro, put us ahead, but just 5 minutes later, Manchester City, with Savinho cutting in off that right-hand side, did grab a goal, and the tie was back on level peggings, and we could have gone one of 2 ways. We could go on to dominate the game or be dominated. And we'll super Nick Jackson driving the left-hand side to find Pedro Neto at the back stick to make it 3-1. Levi Colville and Pedro Neto linking up once again for Reece James. This time on the left-hand side, found Joel Harto to make it 4-1. And we ran away with this one. A 5-1 demolition of Manchester City. I mean, that hardly ever happens. We've done it here on FM26 in a Champions League semi-final. We were once again facing up against English opposition. This time it was Liverpool, who beat us in the semi-finals last year, but it was our time to get revenge. Pedro Neto scored off to a great start before a Cole Palmer free kick made us Champions League winners. And I've got to say, how beautiful does this all look? The presentation is incredible, and FM have done a fantastic job. And more importantly, that ticks off number 2 out of our 3 challenges in this series. So far we have completed the Maresca tactics. We have managed to win a Champions League, and for the final season, season number 3, we have a clear goal to lift the Premier League trophy. No, I really don't want to change anything about this tactic going into next season because it has been absolutely fantastic. And as we saw in that game against City, it does have the ability to destroy teams. And I'm really struggling on what I actually need to improve in this team. I think a left winger could certainly be brought in. And as good as he is in real life, I potentially think a new left back as well. I think if we strengthen the left-hand side to be on the same level as Quenda and Cole Palmer, we could be in for a chance at lifting a Premier League. So I need to go out there and find myself some Wonderkids. And I've done that and found some absolute stars. But first up, it's a star Chelsea have found in real life as well. Coming in is Datsan Satpayev, who is already coded to join Chelsea in season number 3. And again, looks absolutely fantastic. I mean, 14 composure, 14 finishing, and fantastic physicals. Probably not going to see him too much in this season, but it is awesome that he's joining Chelsea and looks this good. And then I have made 2 signings myself. And number 1 is our left back. It's Honest Ahanor, who I have never heard of before, but based on these stats, I probably should have done. His speed is fantastic. His crossing is brilliant. His defending is great. He is just 19 years of age in season 3, which means he starts at 17 at, I believe, Atalanta or potentially Genoa. And they brought him for £14.75 million. Played 16 games in the Serie A last season. And, I mean, yeah, he looks absolutely brilliant. And I'm excited to see how good he could be because as an advanced wing-back or even just as a wing-back, his stats are so well-rounded, and he's over 6 foot tall as well, so he's got a bit of height and a bit of strength to him at 15 already. And then finally, our left wing signing is Jan Vagili, a 20-year-old, so starting at 18, left wing or right wing, who has already 4-star ability and 5-star potential. And again, no, I've never heard of him, and yes, I probably should have done. This guy is at the Barcelona Academy, I believe, in real life, and was signed by Mallorca, who in the Spanish First Division last season scored 13 goals and got 4 assists and a 7.76 average rating. He's cost me just £17.25 million on a release clause. And I think it's safe to say this is the steal of the century. So if you guys are doing a save and you see this guy in the Barca Academy, £3.5 million. If you see him at Mallorca, probably going to have a release clause of 17.75. Go and get him early on. He is absolutely outrageous, and hopefully this season he shows us his tricky flair, his dribbling, his first touch, his electric speed as well. He's going to play on that left-hand side, so hopefully we should see some unbelievable goals from him cutting in. And that is it in terms of the transfers. I haven't done anything else because I can't say how we improved this team past the left-hand side. And now we've done that, the fact that this is all a bunch of Wonderkids and then a few stars chucked in there as well, I personally have added in Verbruggen, Ahanar and Vagili. The rest of it is all Chelsea, who really are set up, if they want to go and dominate football over the next 5 years plus with their sort of transfer model they have done. Now, there is rumours of a potential transfer embargo going to Chelsea based on some dodgy stuff before Todd Bowley got there, which could explain why they went and signed a bunch of Wonderkids and have built this sort of super team with potential transfers coming in a few seasons like Quenda and Satpayev that are all agreed to happen in a few years' time. If they then go and get a transfer ban, it makes sense to why they've done what they've done and spent obviously the $1 billion they did in 3 years because they were expecting to get a slap on the wrist and a couple of season transfer ban. If not, they've just built the perfect Wonderkid farm and going to be absolutely outrageous. Now, with this team we've currently got, I don't expect it to have changed things in the Premier League too much. they probably won't take into the fact that we've just won the Champions League. Our season preview is down in 5th. 8-1 this time, which started at 25-2 at the start of the rebuild. So we have nearly halved our odds of winning the Premier League. But there's Manchester City in first place, whose team has not changed since the start of this rebuild. I mean, to be fair, why would it? Liverpool, who again probably haven't changed too much. In fact, only Grimaldo at left back. Arsenal, who are now playing Ranieri as a left winger. Tchouameni at centre back with Saliba as well is awesome. And then Newcastle with Vitor Roque, who again this year is a ridiculous Wonderkid. Ramsey, Joelinton, Gordon, Tonali, Bruno Guimaraes. Douay in at centre back. Livramento, Ramsdale and Hoyle. Spurs have got Alejo Veliz up front. And other than that, it is the same team. And Manchester United, it is actually a really tight title race between us 7. I'm looking at Lookman, Rashford and Mateus Cunha as the front 3. And the rest of the team is the exact same other than goalkeeper Solakis. I just want to see Manchester United now managed by Oli Glasner. So a very realistic transfer move there if Ruben Amorim is ever to eventually leave, which as things stand now we're top 4. Hopefully he never leaves. But yeah, that's the Chelsea team for this third season. And we need to go and see if we can win the Premier League. And if we don't, I've got to give a copy of FM26 to one of you guys in the comments. And we'll kick things off with starting the season against Atalanta in the UEFA Super Cup. To start our year, could we lift a trophy? And I'll be honest, yes we can. That's because we just play some simply beautiful football. Quenda down this right-hand side as the wing-back is unbelievable. If you guys are doing a Chelsea save or you manage to muster up the funds to do it, get him and play him as a right wing-back rather than a right winger, because it's just like having another attacker. It's like Ahmad at United. Having him in that position is just an absolute cheat code. And in this game, we were just brilliant once again. You can see the 1-2 football and another stupid strike from Caicedo. And he just seems to do that every other game at this point. He is just incredible. We've not actually touched on Caicedo much throughout the entire video, but he's got 11 finishing and 12 long shots, but consistently scores a whole bunch of completely ridiculous long shots. And this season overall, once again, grabbed 10 goal contributions, and he's only 26 years of age. Again, Caicedo, Enzo Fernandez could be the midfield partnership for this Chelsea team for 10 plus years in real life. They really have set up for the future, as well as being a very good side now. But sadly, we are not going to lift a Carabao Cup in today's video, as on the 27th of October, we were knocked out by Newcastle at home. On penalties after Nick Voltmarder's goal, they managed to beat us as João Pedro, Pedro Neto and Wesley Fofana all missed. And sadly, it's the exact same for the FA Cup as well. Liam Delap, who again we've not spoken about much in today's video, did score a brace. But in the first round, Preston have beat us 3-2. Now, Liam Delap is a very interesting one, and is a very interesting signing for Chelsea in real life. Of course, this was a player which was unbelievable last year at Ipswich. Signed for Chelsea over Manchester United, who were interested in him, and many other clubs to be their number 9. And then, of course, has now got a hamstring injury, which is very unlucky. And then Chelsea brought João Pedro as well, which is even more unlucky. And he's now kind of falling down the pecking order, especially because now João Pedro is nailed on number 9. Get brought in Garnacho, Bino Gittins, Cole Palmer. They've got like 12 different attacking options. I can see Liam Delap leaving Chelsea quite quickly. I've kept him throughout this rebuild as a backup rotation third choice striker behind Emmanuel Omega and, of course, João Pedro. But a bit of a shame for this guy's career, because last year at Ipswich, he was brilliant. And then we have to touch on our league form, because we have been superb in the Premier League this season. We managed to beat Aston Villa away from home before losing, sadly, away from home to Man City. But it was throughout the months of October, November and December that I very quickly realised this team was potential champions-elect. 5-0 wins, 4-2 wins, 4-1 wins, and a lot of clean sheets as well. This Chelsea side really does have it all. But one thing it doesn't have is another Champions League trophy, as in the quarterfinals, Real Madrid beat us thanks to a Kylian Mbappe 1-0 over 2 legs. Quite a tight affair against one of the best teams in the world, but sadly, Madrid reign champions. So we turn our attention to the Premier League, where once again we're in a title race with Spurs and Manchester City. And this was a deciding game in the Premier League up against Spurs at home in January. It was a huge, huge victory for us. And it was many thanks to Virgili off that left wing. For £17 million, I don't think I've ever signed a better Wonderkid. He is just absolutely outrageous. He moves like Leo Messi. He is just brilliant. And he's got the goal scorer ability of Messi's, idol, Cristiano Ronaldo. So he's a pretty good player, that Virgili. When it came to Manchester City, it was much tougher. They beat us 2-1 at the Etihad, and we could only draw 1-1 at home at Stamford Bridge, which meant the Premier League came all the way to the final day of the season. We were facing up against Manchester United. You'd think we'd just roll over and let us win because they don't want City to win the league and no one wants Spurs. But they made things very difficult in this game. But despite that, just 5 minutes in, it was Quenda down the right-hand side to get us off to a brilliant start, opening the scoring and giving me some hope before literally 30 seconds later, an absolute mess in the box ends up with Manuel Ugarte scoring to make it 1-1, which pegged us back, but that did not matter, as 5 minutes later, Quenda and Caicedo link up for Caicedo plays a stupid F out to Cole Palmer, whose shot is deflected out to João Pedro, who makes it 2-1, and we grab a third as well. Palmer and Quenda linking up before it hits the post. A back heel from João Pedro finds Esteval, and we scored to make it 3-1 before Manchester United peg us back to 3-2. Cunha down the left-hand side, beats the man, finds the bottom corner, but that was it. But was it enough to lift a Premier League trophy? Before I let you guys know, please smash the like button on the video and subscribe to the channel, because Chelsea, by one singular point, have won the Premier League on 79 points. Spurs lost on the penultimate day of the season, and despite City winning both their games, they were just 1 point away, and we had enough to win the league. A fantastic season for us, and in terms of the actual stats as well, we changed one big thing, and that was our goal scoring output. 78 goals this season, an average of 2 per game is brilliant. That's much better than we have done ever before. Defensively, yeah, we left a little bit left behind us, obviously with our Wonderkid left back in Anuha, and now playing Quenda as a very attacking wing back. We are going to concede a few goals sometimes. It was 45, and in terms of clean sheets, we dropped down to 11. But certainly, we're an exciting attacking team to watch. And if you guys are doing a Chelsea save and you want to know which sort of players to look out for and which to use, certainly use João Pedro. This third season, he was brilliant. 24 goals, 13 assists. Cole Palmer had his best season yet with 32 goal contributions. Jan Virgili, 14 goals, 9 assists. Enzo Fernandez, 10 and 4. Quenda, 7 goals, 11 assists. Honest Anua, 10 assists and 4 goals. Also brilliant. Esteval, I just could not get going in this video, sadly. Only 3 goals overall. Liam Delap did grab 7 as our backup striker. Emmanuel Omega, also worth mentioning, didn't really get going in this video. He only played 2 games to the bench, sadly. Joel Harto was really, really good for us. Cucurella, also brilliant. Andre Santos was good throughout the whole video as well. I noticed him in some big moments come up for it. And in terms of the potential players that we've got here at Chelsea, we've left it with the reboot file on the Patreon, which if you guys want to download is linked down below, with Virgili and Esteval still as 5-star potential players, as well as Quenda, Anua, and a whole bunch of other superstars. If you guys did enjoy the Chelsea rebuild, only the second rebuild on FM26, make sure you subscribe to the channel, and I'll speak to you guys next time.